So with the first weekend of the regular season kind of coming to a close, can you recap your thoughts of the following, that following weekend?
Well, obviously we won 3 games, so we're pleased about that. We saw a lot of positive things out there. I was encouraged by, our pitching staff. I thought did a good job of throwing strikes. One thing you always worry about when you first start to play your games is, are your pitchers ready? Because they don't get a chance to throw off the dirt very often, with the indoor workouts that we have. So the pitchers did a good job, and my next biggest concern was our defense and how our infield was going to play, and I thought they did a very good job. And then we manufactured enough runs to win the 3 games. But I think our offense will get better the more that we play outside and the more pitching that we see. But all in all, we saw a lot of positives, and we played in a lot of close games that we're going to play in, as we go through the rest of the year. So with that being said, we know the competition is going to get better as we continue to move on.
How would you say the guys did in their first real action of the season?
The first 3 or 4 innings on Friday in our first game, I thought they were a little bit timid, a little bit unaggressive, maybe a little bit too anxious. And then from the middle part of that first game, for the rest of the series, I thought we played with a lot more poise, a lot more confidence. We still have a lot of work to do offensively to become the team that we need to become to challenge for a conference championship from an offensive standpoint. But I was concerned the first couple of innings. I thought we were just on our heels a little bit. We were fortunate that Central Arkansas didn't take advantage of it, but after that we settled down and we played much better the second half of the first game and then the last 2 games of the series. So I hope that that's behind us now. We can play with a little more poise as we start each series here as we go through the rest of the year.
Obviously, with just 1 weekend in the book, it's a very small sample size. But what would you say impressed you, and what needs work moving forward?
I think our bullpen was the most impressive. We knew we had a good bullpen going in with Reese McGraw and Kurt Spomer and Chase Webb and Mark Winkleman. All 4 guys pitched a ton for us last year. They did a great job over the weekend. It's really nice to know that when you get into the 6th inning of a ball game that your team feels very, very confident that it's going to win. I thought our defense was as sharp as you can expect it to be with limited outdoor work that we had before the season started. And the thing that we got to work on, we just got to get better at hitting with runners in scoring position. We got quite a few runners in scoring position. We didn't drive in as many as we should have. And the folks that followed the games realized we left 10 or 11 runners on base in 2 of those 3 games. That's too many. So we got to hit better with runners in scoring position, and that's something that's difficult to work on. It's difficult to simulate those kind of situations in a practice.
Much has been made about replacing Trevor Adams' offensive production. Who could be the guy or the guys that step up to provide some power and drive in some runs?
Well, I think it's going to be a combination of 4 or 5 guys. We've got to get more production out of Scott Thornburg. Scott's been a part of our program now. This is his 4th year. He does have a little power. He had a pretty good weekend. I believe he had 4 hits over the weekend. And then Chance Ross, who played every game last year, Nick Junkins, who played every game last year. Those guys have to be better players. So it's not going to be 1 player or 2 players that replace what Trevor did here with 14 home runs and well over 50 RBIs. It's going to be a combination of 3 or 4 guys. Another guy we're going to need to count on offensively is Anthony Bembo. He's got to give us more offense than he did last year. The good thing about this weekend is I saw those guys. They looked like they were better offensive players than what I saw last year when we played.
Okay. Kind of leading into that, who are 1 or 2 most improved guys from last season to now?
I think Anthony Bembo is one of our most improved. I think Chance Ross is a really improved player. Those would be the 2 position players that I think are the most improved. I think Nick Junkins is a better offensive player than he was last year. But he was a very, very good defender for us last year, and I see him being the same there. Those would be the guys. I think this Eric Mattingly, he's a pitcher / outfielder for us. He pitched and won the game against Missouri State in the conference tournament last year. Really didn't have a lot of playing time. He had a very good game on Sunday where he got a base hit and got an RBI sacrifice, and he pitched on Friday for us. So I think Eric's going to contribute a lot more than he did last year for us.
Okay. Is the starting rotation behind Ty fluid, and are your Saturday and Sunday spots kind of Brandon and Andrews to lose?
Yeah, they are. I mean, Brandon looked pretty good on Saturday against Central Arkansas. We're pleased with him. Andrew really stumbled a little bit. He kind of waffled out there. He was having a little trouble finding the strike zone. When he does throw strikes, he's pretty effective. But we're anxious to see Andrew's progress from week 1 to week 2. And that Sunday start is a big deal. And we've got to get a little bit more. We got to get a little more production out of him on Sunday. He pitched 3 innings last weekend, and we're looking for 4 or 5 innings out of him. So, Nick Music is lurking around out there, just ready for an opportunity if one presents itself. So I think between Andrew and Nick Music, we'll eventually settle in on a Sunday starter.
How are the newcomers adjusted to the program, and what progression have you seen amongst the guys from the fall to the regular season?
Well, it's a good group of guys. There's no doubt about it. It's been hard for them. It's always a transition whenever you come from another program to this one. We have high expectations. We work differently than a lot of other programs. So the high school players have a lot to learn. The junior college guys sometimes have to break an old habit and learn a new one. But they're good people, and they've established now that they have some work habits. I really think it's a good group. I mean, Jake Peters started on Sunday at second base for us, had an excellent game. So we're very happy for Jake. Brennan Murphy, our right fielder, played all 3 games and really had a good series. So we're very pleased with Brennan. And there's a couple guys that didn't get a chance to play that I think have bright futures. So I hope that they stay patient. I hope they keep working hard. It's really hard for players who are used to playing every game to all of a sudden come into a college program and not get to play. Yeah. So it's my job is to try to keep their attitudes the way it should be, and keep working, because they'll get opportunities. So I really like this freshman class. I think they're going to be good players for us. Now some of them are going to have to wait a little while, but they'll be okay.
Yeah, that's all I got.
That's good.